Once upon a time, in a small town, there lived two friends, Gina and Uchechi. Their friendship was the talk of the neighborhood, seemingly unbreakable and full of shared laughter and dreams. But beneath Uchechi's warm smiles hid a shadow of envy. One fateful day, as Gina and Uchechi were walking through the bustling market, a young handsome man named Ibrahim approached them. Uchechi's heart fluttered as she believed he was about to speak to her. But to her dismay, Ibrahim's eyes were fixed on Gina. "Excuse me, miss," he said, addressing Gina with a warm smile. "May I have a moment of your time?" Uchechi felt a pang of jealousy as Gina and Ibrahim struck up a conversation that marked the beginning of their courtship. In a year's time, Ibrahim proposed marriage to Gina and started preparing for their wedding. Uchechi, meanwhile, felt the sting of loneliness and bitterness grow within her. On the day of their wedding, Uchechi gifted her friend a beautifully crafted wall clock. It was intricately decorated with gold and ebony. She handed over the gift to the couple as their maid of honor and said, "Gina, my dear friend, I found this clock in the market. It reminded me of our enduring friendship. May it bring even more happiness into your home." The couple was very happy, and after their wedding, they carried all their gifts to their new home. 1 week later, after the wedding, Gina unpacked all their wedding gifts and started putting all where they belonged. She got the wall clock from Uchechi and hung it on the wall with a sense of gratitude. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, and Gina and Ibrahim's love continued growing. Uchechi continued visiting them and became part of their family. On the day that Gina was delivering their first child, her husband and her friend Uchechi were right beside her for support. And Uchechi was chosen as their daughter's godmother, and even they named their child after her. For months, the clock's gentle ticking echoed through Gina's home, accompanying the laughter of her child and the affectionate whispers between her and Ibrahim. Life was perfect, or so it seemed. When their daughter was 2 years old, something suddenly happened. The atmosphere in the house changed immediately. Ibrahim became distant, and Gina felt an inexplainable sorrow cloud her heart. Their once happy home turned cold and silent, filled with misunderstandings and arguments. The situation grew worse. Ibrahim's love turned to violence and abuse. While pregnant with their second child, Gina endured beatings that led to a tragic miscarriage. Even their daughter faced mistreatment and neglect. Ibrahim complained all the time and would snap at Gina at the least provocation. She will be scolded for either cooking too late, which was actually 7 p.m., or for the child crying too loud. Either the food was too spicy or it did not have enough salt. Anytime a friend visited, that would be a problem. Ibrahim became very toxic and violent, and he continuously abused his wife. Gina would call her mother-in-law, Ibrahim's mother, to complain, but she would only be met with uncaring comments of "hold on to your marriage, pray and just respect him and tolerate him." She did not show any empathy or care enough to visit Gina and render any help by speaking to Ibrahim. Uchechi would visit her friend and offer words of encouragement. She would recount how the two used to be in love and how she couldn't believe how Ibrahim had changed. Uchechi continued visiting the home to console her friend. She would find Gina lying on the floor after receiving a beating from her husband and their daughter crying by her side, and would take her to the hospital. She proved to be a good friend to Gina, and even at times tried speaking to Ibrahim to treat his wife better. Ibrahim had become a drunkard. He no longer provided for his family, and Gina, having no income, was left to suffer. All this while, Gina had never told her mother what had been happening. She felt ashamed and did not want her side of the family to know that she was being mistreated. After all, they were too poor to do anything to Ibrahim. One day, Gina went to the market to buy some foodstuffs for the family. With the hard economic times and the small money that Ibrahim had provided, she spent more than Ibrahim had allocated. On reaching home, Ibrahim asked for the balance, that he wanted to go and get drunk with the money left. She gave him less money than he expected, and she tried explaining that the money was not enough as the items' prices had gone very high and that she only bought the main items that they needed. On Ibrahim hearing this, he was furious. "How dare you use my hard-earned money as you please?" he shouted. He grabbed his wife by the throat and started choking her. She had not even yet dropped their daughter, who was on her back on the bed, when he turned and attacked her. Gina got a thorough beating. He threw her on the floor and continued. He punched, thrashed, slapped, and choked her. Gina could no longer hold it in and started screaming for the neighbors to come and save her. Her daughter by now was crying, and all these noises attracted the neighbors and passers-by. They all broke the house door and stormed in to save Gina. Gina was taken to the hospital, where her friend Uchechi and her mother came to see her. Her mother cried so much after seeing what had happened to her daughter. She blamed poverty for not being able to protect her daughter. She stayed in the hospital for a week and was later discharged with scars all over her body. On reaching home, Ibrahim did not care what his wife had gone through. If Gina had not come in with her mother, then she would have been attacked again, as Ibrahim was already waiting for her for staying away from home for a whole week, leaving him with their daughter. On entering the house, Gina's mother sensed there was something amiss in that house. She had thought of scolding Ibrahim, but as a prayerful woman, she felt it in her spirit that something was wrong in the house as well as with Ibrahim, but she could not quite be certain what was wrong. Gina was put to lay on the bed to get some rest, and her mother went to the kitchen to prepare something for her daughter. Uchechi helped to warm some water for Gina to take a shower. They both helped her to sit in the living room for a conversation with Ibrahim and her mother. When they all sat, Gina's mother began to speak, but kept quiet a minute later. "My spirit cannot lie. Something is wrong in this house." Ibrahim and Gina did not know what was happening, and Uchechi was equally shocked. Gina's mother decided that before they could start this conversation, then they needed to pray first. After she prayed, she started walking around the house and went and stood next to the wall clock. "When did this clock stop working?" she asked. Gina said that she hadn't even noticed that it had stopped working. "Well, this is not just a clock, but an evil item sent to destroy this home." Gina turned to her mother and Uchechi, her friend. She told her mother that she must be mistaken, as the wall clock was a gift from their dear friend Uchechi. Her mother turned to Uchechi, who by now was shaking from fear. Her mother took the wall clock from the wall and told Uchechi to confess her sins. Uchechi was hesitant, and Gina's mother gave her a last chance before she started pouring kerosene on the clock to burn it. Immediately, Uchechi started begging, "I am so sorry, my friend. It is the devil's work, please." Gina was very confused of what was happening. Uchechi started confessing, "The clock I gave you is the cause of all your misfortunes. It had dark magic secretly cast on it, and it was designed to siphon joy and harmony from its surrounding. The moment it stopped ticking, that's when Ibrahim changed and started mistreating you, his wife, and his child, as all the love he had for you became double hatred. I used to visit you and pretended to console you, yet secretly I relished in your misery, as I felt you deserved to suffer since you took away Ibrahim from me. From the first day I saw him, I had fallen in love with him, and I thought he would choose me, but he came straight to you. You have always been lucky and gotten everything I have ever wanted, and I was always envious of you. But please forgive me, my dear friend." Gina's mother crushed the clock into small pieces with her foot, and she burnt it. Instantly, the dark cloud was lifted from Gina's home. Ibrahim returned to his loving self and was shocked of all the mistreatments he had done to his wife, and he started begging for her forgiveness. Their happy home was once again restored. Gina told Uchechi to stand up, that she had forgiven her, but to leave and never step foot near her and her family again, as she could never trust her again. Gina, her husband, and their daughter lived happily from then on. Later on, Gina gave birth to their second child. Her mother taught her a valuable lesson of always praying for any gift that they are given, and to always pray for their home, so that no evil may enter through family or friends who are in real sense hidden enemies.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to support our channel, like, comment, and share. Bye.